Today on the Farm Finance Show, we will be explaining the diesel price premium. How did gas and diesel prices diverge so much? Well, hello and welcome back to the show. Today we're going to talk about why diesel and gas premium has become so large. For those of you old enough to remember diesel and gasoline prices, there was at one point in time diesel prices used to be below the gas price. Well, that hasn't been the case now for many, many years, but historically it has been a much smaller premium than what we had been seeing. If you go back a few years, the premium was probably only in the 20 to 30 cent range. Well, over the last year or two, that has greatly increased. You can see kind of the old premium right here, what it used to be, and then suddenly at the end of 2021 and going into 2022, this amount has greatly increased. And in fact, right now we are probably in record territory for the premium between diesel and gasoline prices. And anybody who's driven around to a gas station and made a mental comparison of what the diesel price is to the gas price, notice the gas price is quite a bit higher. So certainly where I'm from in Kansas, tends to be the right amount here. We're about $1.50 above the gasoline price. Well, what's going on to actually cause that, to make that premium so large? Well, I think a lot of it goes back to looking at what our stocks of diesel and gasoline are. So we got to a point, looking at the last 5 years of the amount of diesel stocks in the U.S., where this year we are way below normal for diesel stocks. You can see this dotted line represents what the current stock situation is for diesel fuel, so it's way, way below what the last 5 years have been. We started to raise up a little bit, but this is really not unusual for this time of year to start building up diesel inventories, because we do tend to use less gasoline in the summertime. But notice how low this is relative to what it has been. If we compare this with what the gasoline stocks are, you see gasoline stocks are actually low too, although the differential between this year and what it has been in other years isn't near as much as what it is on the diesel side. So we're really low on both the gasoline side and the diesel side, but especially the diesel side. Well, what has actually caused that to occur, that we actually have such low inventories of gas and diesel prices, or fuel supplies? Well, let's look at the refinery capacity and utilization. I think this is the key to what's happening with prices right now. So, we actually have plenty of oil in the U.S. It's just a matter of getting that oil converted into gasoline and diesel prices. So you can see what our capacity was. This right here, this top point right here, this is right before when COVID first started. You can see we had enough capacity that things kind of fit along a historical norm. But when COVID came, our demand for gas really, really went down, and we dropped off and closed some refineries and tapered production off. Well, unfortunately, with the COVID thing being over now and demand ramping back up, our capacity hasn't matched to keep up with that. We actually had a fire at a refinery in Philadelphia. That's never coming back online. And we had one closed on the Gulf Coast that's never coming back online. In fact, our average age of when a refinery is built in the U.S. is well over 50 years old. So all our refineries are old. They're kind of being held together with duct tape and baling wire. With the environmental restrictions in the U.S., it's very hard to build a new refinery today. That doesn't mean we can't modernize what we have, but getting capacity back to what it was here, I don't know if we're ever going to reach that point. The other kicker to this whole thing is look at how well we are using with the utilization, how much use we're getting out of the refineries that are active here. We're about 95% utilization here. So we don't have much ability to actually ramp up production to actually create more oil or more diesel and gasoline, because we are using our current capacity pretty highly. We just don't have enough capacity out there. So until we actually get this remedy, I think you're always going to be looking at a situation where prices are going to be above what you would typically think they would be based on what the oil price is. And the fact that the diesel price or diesel supply is so low, the stocks of diesel fuel is so low, it's going to probably take years to work out of this situation. So maybe we can build back during the winter time. But I think come springtime, depending upon what happens with the economy, I think we're going to be in a bad situation as far as always kind of paying a premium for diesel fuel. And for farmers, that's going to be a bad situation, because that's their main fuel supply is the diesel fuel price. So that's it for now, and we'll talk more about this later.